No puede manejar. Hasta lo entiende, si lo va a batir de la levante su mano derecha. Licencia de manejar. Puede manejar.
Conditions on Joel Rodriguez. Joel Rodriguez.
We had abuse of bond commission. We had one filed, but it was filed incorrectly and they refiled it for the reckless driving.
Yeah. Do you have it?
I have it in your queue right now. Or I'm trying to get it.
And which one did they file it on? They filed it on the wrong one, you said?
They didn't include reckless driving and then street takeovers. It just included,
I see it. Okay, Joel Rodriguez, come up. Okay. We'll have you sign the conditions and then after that, you're free to go. What is your last name, sir?
Alfaro.
Page 1.
Okay, you are Ricardo Alfaro. Mr. Alfaro, you are charged with harassing communication. You are facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On August 26, 2022, the officer was dispatched to a harassment call and met with the complainant, who explained she had broken up with the defendant on August 20th after dating 2.5 years. The defendant came to the complainant's parents' home early in the morning of August 21st and began knocking on the door and refused to leave. The defendant got into an altercation with the complainant's brother, and the complainant then went to work where she received phone calls and text messages. The complainant responded in text asking for the defendant to stop contacting her. And over the next 2 days, the defendant continued to text the complainant asking to just talk. On August 24th, the complainant went to the defendant's apartment to retrieve her belongings. And upon returning to her parents' house, the complainant observed the defendant circle the area. On August 25th, the complainant's father observed the defendant parked down the street in the vehicle. 5 p.m. that day, the complainant's friend observed the defendant had been driving past the complainant's apartment, and the complainant observed the defendant driving around her parents' neighborhood and parked outside for a while before leaving. The defendant then attempted to contact the complainant by phone and text messages, as well as driving to the complainant's place of work and contacted the complainant's work asking to speak with the complainant. The complainant stated she has received 50 calls and approximately 100 text messages, as well as 15 to 20 calls from some unknown number.
Alfaro, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with the complaining witness in this case. Do you understand? I don't care what you're doing. I don't care where you're going. I don't care what color you are. If I find that you try to have any kind of contact, I'm going to put you in jail. Do you understand? How old are you, sir?
25.
Did you want to apply for an appointed lawyer, sir? Okay. Can you file the conditions, no contact and no weapons, please? I'm going to give you an application now. I'm going to have you sign a reset with Victoria. Then we'll have you take a seat in the jury box. I'm going to find your lawyer. Do not leave until you sign our bond conditions. Do you understand? Okay, please. Don't worry, we'll work it out.
This is 21. Sims is the last name.
Colby Sims, come up.
right.
Oh. Good morning, Mr. Sims. Sir, you're charged with reckless driving. You're facing up to 30 days in jail and or a $500 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On January 24th, 2025, The officer responded to a minor accident at the 8700 block of Fairbanks North in Houston, Texas, Harris County, Texas. The officer made contact with the complainant, who stated he was driving his vehicle, was at an intersection, and the defendant was blowing his horn at him to turn, and the complainant could not make a right turn due to the truck being in front of him. The complainant stated once he did turn right on the Fairbanks, he began to drive north in the first lane of traffic, and the defendant drove in the second lane. The defendant began to weave in and out of the lane in an attempt to make the complainant collide with the defendant's vehicle. The complainant stated the defendant made an unsafe lane change, causing him to rear-end the defendant. The defendant began to drive north on Fairbanks Road, brake checked the complainant again, causing him to collide with the defendant's vehicle. The complainant stopped his vehicle, exited, and the defendant did the same, and both began to verbally argue. The defendant accused the complainant of rear-ending his vehicle, and the officer made contact with the defendant, who stated he was driving north when the complainant collided with his vehicle. The defendant stated he noticed the complainant's odd behavior in the rearview mirror when he was struck the second time and had to brake due to heavy traffic. The complainant told the officer that traffic was light, and a witness stated he observed the defendant's vehicle continuously weaving in and out of the complainant's lane while brake checking the complainant.
You said odd behavior.
And that's
kind of allegation of alcohol or dope?
no, Your Honor. And that was the statement the defendant made to the officer, that he observed the complainant have odd behavior.
Oh, I see.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sims, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. You were on bond for a very serious felony case of evading a motor vehicle, and now you've picked up a reckless driving. I'm taking away your privilege to drive. You are not allowed to drive. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I don't give a rat's behind what is going on in this life. If I find that you drive, because I'm going to have you sign an affidavit with me today, I can have a contempt hearing. You can be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. It's an offense in and of itself. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I'm also ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you consume alcohol and kind of illegal drugs, likewise, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail.
Octavio Hernández.
How old, sir?
Fine. Turning 19 next month.
I will appoint you a lawyer today. I'm telling you now, if I find that you drive, and I don't know what the reason is, it's really not going to go well for you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you mind reaching out to the max? Appointing a lawyer, please. I'm going to have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. I'm going to get you to Victoria, sign a reset, then you'll get with Fatima for your bond conditions, and then I'll have you take a seat while we find you a lawyer. You're Miss Tamika Smith?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, you're charged with, terroristic threat. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Judge. On January 24th, 2025, the officer was dispatched to a disturbance with a weapon call at an apartment complex in Harris County, Texas. The call slip advised a black female in a red wig possibly had a firearm. The officer observed the defendant matching the description, and the officer made contact with the complainant, who stated she lives in an apartment across from the defendant. The defendant and she had several verbal arguments in the past, and that morning they also had an argument. The defendant began yelling and screaming at the complainant from a parking lot in front of the apartment, and the defendant told the complainant, "I'm going to shoot you, bitch." And the complainant stated the defendant further made threats to shoot the home along with the kids inside after the complainant retreated inside the residence. The complainant was in fear for serious bodily injury or death, and the complainant provided security camera footage where a female voice was heard yelling, "I'll shoot your home and your kids too."
And I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case.
Yes, sir.
Ordering you not to have contact with this person.
Yes, sir.
I'm also ordering you not to have any possession of any weapons as well.
Yes, sir.
If I find that you violate these conditions, I only have one place. I'm going to revoke your bond.
Understood. Yes, sir.
Would you like a lawyer today, ma'am?
Yes, please.
Here, I'm going to have you sign a receipt, Victoria. We'll have you take your seat in your box. Do not leave until you sign our bond conditions. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, please.
It's Mr. Christopher Martinez. I was appointed to represent him on his first case for terrorist threat. It looks like he's picked up another case, Judge.
Really?
Yes. That's all. Family member.
You now stand charged with assault of a family member. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. The complainant and the defendant are in a dating relationship, and on January 25th, 2025, the officer was dispatched to an assault. Upon arrival, the officer met with the complainant, who stated that he and the defendant are dating and that they had recently gotten into an argument earlier that day. The complainant stated that he had thrown some nicotine cartridges on the floor and that the defendant and him got into a physical altercation but separated. The complainant then made food and brought the defendant a plate of food, but the defendant used it to strike the complainant in the face, causing a laceration above his eye. The complainant then stated that he began to fight back.
Same complaining witness in the terroristic threat.
No, sir, Your Honor, it's not.
No, Your Honor. It does appear that the complaining witness in the recent assault was a witness to the previous terroristic threat, but I'm still not sure of the involvement so far.
Mr. Martinez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with the complaining witness in this case and not to be in possession of weapons. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I ask you one thing. I ask you not to pick up any new cases. You have done, because you have done this now, I'm going to revoke your bond on your first case, and I'm going to put you in jail right now. Goes with you, officer.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. D. 5,001. Yeah. And tell me, did he get a PR bond on that small case?
Bond violation, you asked us to approach on.
Page 20.
Dominic Sanders, come up. I'm sending you now for a drug test. I want to know what, if anything, is in your system. I ordered you not to use. You're not to use anything. Do you understand? I'm sending you for a drug test. You must come right back. If you fail the test, if you fail to come back, I'm going to issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand? Okay.
Judge, if I may, I can of course send him to get tested. I will make note that when he picked up this case, he was doing the drug test 5 days later, and he was going to come out positive for everything that's on that.
Cocaine. We'll see. I'm going to send him for a test right now.
Yes,
We'll see. All right. Take a seat for me, sir.
you're going to send it, right?
Right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you mind sending him for a test, please? And wait.